Hey everybody, welcome to Centerville. Welcome to Grammy D's porch, a place we hang out in every now and then when we're here. I'm going to take a photograph or two showing you what we're looking at so you can get a sense of the context a little bit better. Got to remember to talk loud. So what we really want to do here is we want to wrap up day 4, which we never really did properly, and just kind of reflect on some lessons learned along the way. On day 4, the GoPro wasn't working for us very well. We knew we had a long distance to go, so I don't have a lot of GoPro footage. I have a little bit of video from our phone and a few pictures to show, but mostly it's going to be the narration of the story. So, where did we begin? Day 4.
Day 4. We woke up in Lovell, Maine, at the lake.
Yep.
In a beautiful spot.
After spending the night at Susan's Airbnb in Lovell, Maine. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend her. Fantastic person. Yet another one of the interesting characters we met along the way.
Check out her video.
Check out her video. Singing a great song about Maine, which is sort of the neighbor. Well, it is the neighbor of New Brunswick here, where we are now. And Sue's family spends a lot of time going back and forth. So it's a state we know better than most. Yeah, and we knew we had a long ride, so off we went. Riding away. We didn't realize how long a ride it would turn out to be, but the morning was kind of uneventful. We knew rain was coming, and so we got away early, and we just tried to, still sticking to the smaller roads, but we just really tried to make some time. And so we didn't make as many stops as we normally would. Did we stop for coffee even in the morning?
We did at that great coffee spot.
Oh, yes.
What was the name of that place? Middlebury?
Middlebury.
Middlebury.
I think. Well, we were in Middlebury at some point anyway.
Yeah, and delicious coffee.
Yeah, so we stopped at the diner for coffee and orange juice. Just a little bit of an energy break, and then took off again. Ultimately, I guess our first stop of interest is around lunchtime. We ended up looking for a place to stop and found this great sandwich and soup shop. I forget what it was called. We should be remembering all these things. But really nice. The moment we walked in, we saw this board of different kinds of sandwiches they made that were all interesting. For example, I had the salad sandwich, and you had...
And I had the hummus and...
I can't remember.
Hummus and something. Maybe hummus and cheese.
Both fantastic
Delicious.
Sandwiches. We had like a cream of broccoli
and cheddar soup.
Yeah, that was good. But perhaps the more interesting thing is there was a character there when we walked in. It turns out his name was James, but, well, let's show you a picture of James here. So yeah, a big sort of handlebar mustache, or I don't know what you call it. And he was up at the counter when we came in. And he said something along the lines of he loved coming in here because choosing what sandwich he was going to eat was the most interesting part of his whole day, or something like that. And we made a little bit of a joke about it, and that started a conversation. It turned out he had traded a bunch of old cookie cutters for his sandwich, and then in fact he had already been to 20 yard sales that morning. He was planning on going to another 20,
about 20 more
that day. He was a picker. He saw himself as a picker, like an American picker kind of thing. And
he had gotten 3 guitars that morning?
He had 2 guitars that morning, which of course piqued my interest, and so I was chatting with him, and ultimately he took me out to see the guitars, and I knew some information about them that he didn't know. One was a nice little silver tone that he picked up for $10. It's a pretty amazing 1960s guitar.
Yeah,
so at any rate, that just led to a great discussion, which is another example of how many people are just happy to really engage when you kind of give them the chance. And so we had a great chat with James, and he's now on our character list of this trip. From there, it was racing the rain.
It was.
Yeah. You want to take it from there?
Wow. Where did we go from there?
Yeah, I mean, largely
then we were
everything.
up through the Haynesville Woods.
Yeah, everything was going fine. It was past 2 p.m. and we thought we might get hit by the rain at about 2, and things were looking all right. And that's when, the first, I think, a really important point, and this is a point I think I'll remember for a long time. We were on this road. It was looking kind of like there wasn't going to be anything for a while, and we thought about gas. And our nav systems tell us where gas stations are, and I saw one that I thought said 20 kilometers ahead. But then as we got a little further, I realized that number was getting bigger, and it was actually 20 kilometers behind us. And it was telling us about that because the next one was 100 kilometers ahead.
123.
123. Thanks to my issues with the bike, I don't know for sure how much range my bike has, but from what I could tell, it was around 70. So 70k. So we had this gut-wrenching feeling like we don't have enough gas to get to the next one that way. We're gonna have to go back this way. And that's annoying when you know you're trying to outrun rain. It's annoying anyway. You never want to backtrack. And it's an interesting point where you just come to that realization of, I'm disappointed, I don't like this, this is not making me happy, but it's the right thing to do and we must do it. and you learn that on motorcycle rides. You sometimes just are confronted to do the thing you have to do. So yes, we went back. There was some drama getting back. I won't give you all the details of that. But eventually,
we went about 20k out of our way, and then we got to the right place.
Yeah, we eventually got back to this gas station, and I can show you a little bit of a video of that now. I don't know if you can hear what we can hear. You hear that? It's thunder. Not only is it thunder, we just had our drama for the day. Well, at the beginning of the drama of the day, we were cruising down the road and just looking at our nav systems, which tell us what's coming up and whatever. And I said, well, we need fuel in the next little while. And then we figured out we had gas stations about 20 kilometers behind us and 100 kilometers ahead of us, and we might have only had 73k of fuel. So we had to bite the bullet and go backwards. And then we had a little bit of a time because our nav systems messed us around and etc. A lot of lessons learned.
Not really, we just went the wrong way.
No, but the nav system said 20k to an Irving, but that was 20k to the turn to the Irving, which was another 18k down the road. Anyway, we're here at a Shell. We made it here. We're behind schedule now. There's thunder in the air, but it is what it is. So let's see how this all turns out. Alrighty, bye-bye. I'm in there. Now, what you could hear on that video is that thunderstorms were rumbling. I hope you could hear it. If not, well, they were.
They were.
And back we had to go on the road because, again, we didn't really have the option to just hang out and wait. We knew we had to get here. So for the rest of the day, riding through on and off rain, a little cold, but we just rode. We stopped at some point to layer up. And we just kind of made our way to New Brunswick through these back roads, off and on rain.
All the curvy roads.
I hoped to have some video to show you what it's like riding in the rain, but trust me, we will have video. It looks that way. So we made it to this border, and here's Sue parked at the border and apparently telling me you're not allowed to take pictures at the border as I'm taking that picture. Very friendly border guard. We crossed that border.
We came through at Fosterville.
Fosterville.
Which is way south of where we thought we would at Holton.
Somehow we came there, yeah, and then we had a really rough road. It was a nice road, but it was not very well maintained.
For 36 kilometers.
For 36k to get us to Woodstock, where we got some provisions, and then came here to Grammy's house.
And it poured the whole way.
Yeah, well, poured, off and on rain. It was just...
On the way up from Woodstock, it poured.
Yeah, it was yucky.
Yeah.
Yucky weather. Okay. That got us here. And at that point, the plan was we were going to stay here one night and go on to Fredericton the next day.
2 nights.
Stay here 2 nights, right. We stay here 2 nights, then going on to Fredericton. Sometime during that day off, remember my bent key? So I never mentioned this before, and I'm still kind of puzzled by it, but I did mention that I dropped my bike at that one point right after we got off the ferry. My key must have been in one of the lock boxes, and when I dropped it, it must have somehow, I have no idea how, struck the ground because, well, this is my key now. And this is after I did some work on a gas station, a gas pump, where I could put this in and pry it and bend it. And I had to bend it enough so that I could put gas in the bike. So it now works. I can get into everything,
but it feels kind of weak. It feels like in bending it, that's why I didn't want to bend it anymore. It feels like in bending it, I weaken the metal. And so we're coasting on this key, and this is going to be a challenge for me now, is do I keep riding on this key, or do I find a way for my friends at GP Bikes to somehow get a key to me? I'm going to try the latter, obviously. So yeah, just another part of the fun. It's all good.
I made the bad decision to try to make it a little less bent. I don't know if it was a bad decision. It might have been just inevitable anyway. But when I tried to make it a little less bent, it weakened it. I could feel how weak the key was, and suddenly I did not want to put it in any lock. I was deathly afraid that it will break in the lock. And so we went into problem-solving mode again, and I called the Ducati dealer about getting a new key. And yes, you can get a new key, but it's a process. It would have taken weeks because they have to get it from Ducati, and so it was not a quick solution. And then I remembered that we had a spare key home over the fridge, and the hero is our daughter Darcy, Darcy Gallant, who went to our place
with her 4 kids.
Yeah, she got 4 kids. One of them is just a baby, so we had to wait for the baby to nap, to sleep. Once the baby was awake, she was able to go pick up the key, put it in express mail to us, but that was late on Saturday then. They said it wouldn't go out till Monday, and then it would get to us on Wednesday. And so, once again, just like the gas, we realized that we have to stay here. There was no other alternative once again. And, you could be disappointed about that. You could be, like, totally bummed out, especially because we have a ferry schedule we're trying to make. But again, it's what it is.
And it was a great opportunity to spend a few days with my 92-year-old mom, who was amazing. Yeah. And we've really had a good time. Most of the time it's been us, but the whole family's been here except for one brother who's sick.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing to spend time with her.
Yeah, and that's the point we really want to make in this video. That all through life, every now and then disappointments hit you, and things you can't control. And you can wallow in that, you can get upset by it, you can experience all those negative frustrations, but if there's nothing you can do about it, look at the positive. And we started doing that and seeing, wow, we have all this extra time with Sue's family, and this is precious. It's precious time. None of us is getting younger, and so, rather than whine and complain, we said, okay, let's make the best of this. And by the way, a couple of good things that came out of it. We've had some annoying sort of situations. One of them was Sue's heated gear wasn't working. So yeah, why don't you take over on that story?
Yeah, so I came here from Toronto, and my heated gear, somehow I had no power to it, so it was a little cool. But my awesome nephew Jordy took my bike apart last night and found out that there was a fuse in the battery, which is under the gas tank. So everything had to be taken off, the bearing had to be taken off, and he changed the fuse, and now I have heated gear again.
Yeah. So yeah, Jordy's our nephew. He's got just amazing mechanical smarts, electrical smarts. When it popped into my head, oh my goodness, how can we get this fixed? I thought of Jordy right away, and really appreciate the time that he spent. Sue had to go by herself because I have some gas, but just a bit. I need my key to get more gas, so I can't really take my bike too far. So Sue went and hung out with Jordy, got that fixed. Really cool.
And it was a lot of fun hanging out with Jordan for a couple of hours.
Fantastic.
It was.
And that's another, again, you could have been disappointed, but you get that.
Yeah.
And so that's how we're going to look at things.
I wouldn't have gotten to see otherwise.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get to see him on the weekend.
We're going to have to rejig our plans. I mean, another positive is it has been nothing but rain since day
Another
4.
Positive, it has been nothing but rain.
Positive in the sense that at least we haven't been riding in it for 4 days.
That's true.
We've been here. Now we're going to ride in it for the next 2 weeks. It looks like it's really amazing. The weather forecast looks rainy and pretty chilly. Then it gets a little warmer, but still rainy. But thanks to the heated gear that Sue now has and I have, we'll be fine. We may not be tenting as much. So, just one other quick story there. We already booked an Airbnb for St. John for when we leave here tomorrow. And the guys heard about our adventure, saw the videos, and said, I'm going to try to clean space out in my garage so you guys can park your bikes in my garage. Thank you, Ron. I mean, unsolicited. We didn't expect or ask for anything like that. And it's just another example of running into friendly strangers as we go along this route, and people just being fantastic to us.
Whether it's directions or help with the bike, we've had a lot of help.
James
along
in
way.
the sandwich shop just being
Giving
a friendly
information,
guy.
yeah.
Susan at her Airbnb, you know, welcoming us and giving us that warm place to stay. That's a big part of our trip, are the people we meet. And that includes the family, by the way. And so there's going to be one other video here, which is going to be us chatting with Sue's 92-year-old mom. She is the matriarch of this family, clearly.
She has 8 kids.
Their lives center around her. She has how many great-grandchildren and grandchildren?
She's
who
got
have
16
spent
grandchildren, and I think she's up to, I'm not sure, great-grandchildren where it is.
Every one of
We've
them
lost
loves
count.
her dearly and loves their time coming
Love
here
going to
with
Grammy
her.
D's.
So yeah, you're going to meet her next. We look forward to introducing her. But that's our day 4 wrap up. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. It's really cool to feel the support that you guys are sending our way. Yeah, we look forward to getting back on our adventure. Actually, really starting the Canadian adventure tomorrow. That's the real launch of it. So we look forward to that. Any final words for this video?
Take care.
Take care.